Welcome to Lesson 08, where we crack open what actually makes Apache powerful. The core itself is tiny. Almost everything you reach for, SSL, rewriting, proxying, compression, headers, all of it lives in modules. Each one is just a so file loaded at startup, toggled on with A2NMod, off with A2DisMod, and listed with Apache 2CTL MM. Today we cover how loading works, the 10 modules every install needs, and how to audit what's actually running. Here's the roadmap in 4 pieces. First, what a module actually is. A shared object file in USR lib Apache 2 modules, loaded at startup by a LoadModule directive. Second, the workflow on Debian and Ubuntu. A2NMod to symlink it in, A2DisMod to pull it out, then a systemctl reload. Third, the 10 names you'll meet in nearly every config. And fourth, auditing. Apache 2CTLM to see what's loaded, then trimming anything you don't actually use. So here's the alphabet. 10 modules that cover 95% of real Apache configs. Top row, mod rewrite for URL rewriting, mod SSL for HTTPS, mod headers for request and response headers, mod deflate for zip compression, and mod expires for cache control. Bottom row, mod proxy and mod proxy, HTTP for reverse proxying, mod status for the server status page, mod log config for custom log formats, and mod mime for type mapping. 4 of them, deflate, status, log config, and mime, are on by default. The other 6 you enable with A2NMod. Memorize the column. Now, how does enabling actually work? There are 2 layers here. The mechanism is the LoadModule directive. That's pure Apache. The Debian convention wraps it. Every module gets its own .load file in mods available, and A2NMod just symlinks it into mods enabled. That's it. Watch the trace. A2NMod rewrite creates the symlink. The load file contains one LoadModule line pointing at mod rewrite. So, and after a reload, Apache 2CTLM confirms rewrite module is shared and active. Symlink, reload, LoadModule fires, shared object opens, directives go live. So once you understand how loading works, the next question is, what's already loaded that shouldn't be? A fresh Ubuntu install gives you around 140 modules. You probably need 30. The rest is attack surface, memory, and complexity. The audit is 3 steps. List everything with Apache 2CTL, M, grep your configs to see which directives you actually invoke, then A2DisMod the bloat. Auto-index, CGI, info, status are the usual suspects. Config test, reload, done. The rule, disable anything you can't justify and re-audit yearly. Now that you've trimmed the bloat, here's what to actually build with. Real configs are stacks, 4 to 6 modules working together. A static site needs SSL, headers, deflate, expires, and rewrite. Cache, compress, secure, done in 10 minutes. WordPress adds modi, PAP, and keeps rewrite for pretty URLs. A reverse proxy fronting Node or Go pulls in proxy HTTP, and proxy wstunnel for WebSockets. Learn these 3 stacks and you'll recognize 90% of production Apache servers on site. And here's what those 3 stacks actually look like at the prompt. Stack 1, a single A2NMod with SSL, headers, deflate, expires, rewrite, then config test, reload, done. Stack 2 installs the PHP, so first because that one ships from apt, then enables the rest. Stack 3 pulls in the proxy trio alongside SSL and headers. The pattern never changes. Enable, confidest, reload, then Apache 2CTL, M to verify what's loaded. Memorize that loop and every server you touch follows the same 4 steps. Now step back and ask why Apache was built this way in the first place. 3 reasons the modular bet paid off. 1. You pay only for what you use. No SSL on the site, mod SSL never loads, and you save memory, startup time, and attack surface. 2. Third parties can ship mod security, mod pagespeed, mod JK, mod Elua, without forking the project or asking permission. Half the ecosystem exists because of this. 3. Disable becomes a security knob. Vulnerability in mod CGI means A2 dismod CGI reload done instead of recompiling like Nginx often demands. So here's the cheat sheet. 7 commands that cover everything you'll ever do with modules. A2nmod and A2dismod for the daily work, enabling and disabling. Apache 2CTL-M whenever you need ground truth about what's actually loaded, and pipe it through WCL to spot bloat. Listing mods available shows what's installed, mods enabled shows what's live, and apt search libapache 2 mod finds new ones to pull in. Memorize the pattern. Enable, confitist, reload, verify with M. Same flow every single time. Time to put it into practice. 3 drills, building on each other. First, 10 minutes. Enable the static site stack from earlier. SSL, headers, deflate, expires, rewrite, all in one A2nmod call, then confitist, reload, and verify with grep. Second, 15 minutes. Dump your loaded modules to a file, sort it, and walk through every line asking whether you actually use it. Most installs carry over 100 modules they don't need. Third, 20 minutes. Pick 4 safe targets, auto-index, userdir, info, CGI, and dismod them. Smaller surface, less memory, cleaner server. Do these in order on a real VM. Before you go run those drills, 5 mistakes worth memorizing, because every one of them will cost you an afternoon at some point. 1. A2nmod without a reload. The symlink exists, but Apache hasn't read it yet. 2. Writing mod.rewrite or rewrite module instead of just rewrite. A2nmod wants the short name. 3. Disabling a module of vost still references, confitist passes, reload fails. 4. Expecting A2nmod to install something, it only enables what apt already put in mods available. And 5. Testing in a browser instead of running Apache 2CTL-M verify the mechanism, not the symptom. That's lesson 8. You've got the 10 names, you know how to enable and verify them, and you know what to strip out. Modules are no longer a mystery. They're a checklist. Next up, lesson 9, the MPMs. Pre-fork, worker, event, how Apache actually handles concurrent requests, which model fits which workload, and the tuning knobs that matter. See you there.